When I discovered the idea of continuous learning, I thought it was a miracle. I came from a poor home. We never had any money. When I left school, I did not graduate. My first job was washing dishes in the back of a small hotel, and when I lost that job, I got a job washing cars in the wintertime. You know what that's like. When I lost that job, I got a job washing floors with a janitorial service, and I thought washing was in my future. So I traveled and I worked on farms. I worked in construction. I worked at laboring jobs. I worked on digging wells. I worked in factories, stacking lumber. I worked on a ship in the North Atlantic. I worked at laboring jobs until I was 23 years old. And when I could no longer get a laboring job, like many people here, I got a job in sales. And in sales, I was a complete failure because I had no training. So for 6 months, I worked and worked and worked, and I was making no success at all. I say starting off in sales with no skills is a wonderful weight loss program, because if you don't sell, you don't eat. And I lost a lot of weight in those 6 months. Well, this whole thing about finding your passion is motivational claptrap. The way that you find your passion is whatever job you have to do, throw your whole heart into it. And this has been discovered for centuries. Throw your whole heart into what you're doing, and you'll find out very quickly if this is the right work for you. If it's not, you won't get any excitement or happiness from it. Something will change. Many people don't realize that until you throw your whole heart into something, you don't get anything back. And so what they do is they say, well, I'll try this and see if it works. And if it does, I read this wonderful line 2 weeks ago. Every so often I come across a great line. It said, this work is never fun until you're good at it. And so when you begin at a job, it may take you a year or two of hard work to become good at what you're doing. Then it becomes fun. Then it becomes your passion. And maybe we say, oh, find my passion, find my passion. No, do your job right. Well, do it really well and get really good at it. And if when you're really good at it, if you still don't enjoy it, then look for something else. Tap your creative potential. Accept the fact that every single human being is a genius, and all successful men and women are creative. They're creative in that they respond to their world differently. They ask questions. They're flexible. They're curious. You know what the hallmark of creativity is? Curiosity. The hallmark of ignorance and stupidity is the cessation or stopping from asking questions. I've worked with some of the brightest men and women in this nation, and I find that the smartest people of all, the ones that have the greatest education and the most experience, are the ones who ask the most questions. They ask questions almost as if they were children, but they never stop asking questions. They're very open and flexible, and they have the ability, once they learn a new piece of information, to drop what they're doing if the new information contradicts it and do something else. You know what most people do? Most people keep on doing what they're doing until they run to a wall, as they say. The more you do what you're doing, the more you'll get of what you've got. Someone reported out to me not long ago, and I think it's very true, is that all changes in our life come with the input of new information. That if we do not have new information, we keep on doing the same thing forever as a result of inertia. And creative people are always looking for faster, better, easier, cheaper, newer ways to do things. Remember, 80% of everything that we are doing today and are doing today in our general business will be different 5 years from now. 80% of the products that we use, the food that we eat, the cars we drive, the music we listen to, the movies we go to, even the streets we drive on. 80% of everything will be new in 5 years. That's how rapidly things are changing. Warren Buffett spends 80% of his time studying every day, and he's one of the richest people in the history of the world because he keeps learning new things. When I came across continuous learning, almost like tripping over something in the dark, I couldn't believe it. What it said was that you can learn anything you need to learn to achieve any goal you can set for yourself. There are no limitations on what you could learn. You have more potential than that you could use in 100 lifetimes. You can learn anything. This, to me, was the greatest of all discoveries. There are no limits on the kind of life you can have because you can learn anything you need to learn as long as you continuously learn new things. And what's the magic formula? 10 hours a week. Read a little bit each day in your field. Listen to audio programs when you travel around. Go to seminars and take notes. As I said, write down actions that you can take immediately afterwards. And just dedicate your life to becoming a student for the rest of your life. Every day you should be learning something new. Learning should be as much a part of your life as eating, sleeping, and breathing. And if you'll do that, you start to go up the ladder of success faster and faster. You feel happier and happier. People respect you and look up to you. You feel that you have more energy and your self-esteem goes up. Your self-image improves and you get it all from continuous learning, which is why these people go from the bottom to the top, and they're very happy people. They're very highly respected and they feel wonderful about themselves because growing and becoming better in your field is one of the most happiest and wonderful things you can do. Here are the keys to continuous learning. First of all, read 60 minutes a day. I will say this over and over again. 60 minutes per day over the course of a year, 2 years, 3 years will make you one of the top people in your field. Listen to audio cassettes in your car. Listen to audio cassettes. Here's what most people don't realize. They don't realize that they are not on vacation when they're in their car. If they're traveling between calls and between clients or between customers, they're not on vacation when they get into their car. They're still working, and the worst thing you can do is turn your mind off and park it and listen to something that's chewing gum through the ears. What you do when you're driving is you learn at the same time. Listen to audio programs in your car. Turn your car into a mobile classroom. Turn your car into a university on wheels. Now, a study at the University of California, USC, concluded that if you listen to educational audio programs in your car as you drive around instead of listening to music, which we call chewing gum for the ears, if you listen to audio programs, you'll get the equivalent of almost full-time university attendance, except for one small point. When you go to the university, people have graduated from universities that I eventually did find that about 90 or 95% of what they teach you is not practical. It's theoretical. It's true. It's enjoyable, but it's useless in the real world. However, when you select educational audio programs on sales, communication, time management, goal setting for yourself, which you can stop and start if you like, you only select things that are valuable to you in the moment. So you get even more than a university education by turning your car into a classroom on wheels. You turn your car into a mobile learning machine. Human beings are very much like they have what is called a cybernetic guidance mechanism. Like a guided missile is fired at the target, and even if the target moves, the missile takes feedback and adjusts its course and hits the target. You have a cybernetic mechanism where you are learning. You are a learning machine. The more activities you engage in, the faster you learn, and pretty soon you become so smart that you can hit the target almost every time. You can learn new skills, but it's like a car. You cannot change a car's engine by changing the paint on the outside. You can learn new skills if you're ambitious and positive and you want to be more successful. And you're eager to learn and apply new ideas. There's no limit to what you can do. But your basic personality, that's like your eye color. It's like your height. It's even like your sex. You cannot change these. These are basic parts that are programmed into your personality. So don't try to change people. If people are lazy when they're young, they'll be lazy 50 years later. If people are dishonest, they'll be dishonest. If people are unorganized, they'll be disorganized. However, if they have good qualities, good ambitions, you can teach them all kinds of skills. Skills are very different from personality.